So now that I've done a pre-review of Hunger Games and explained to you why I'm not rereading this series as a whole, I haven't reread Mockingjay in so long. That's why I'm going to go ahead and reread that, because I haven't. But I have reread Catching Fire recently. And if you're wondering, I know Catching Fire is some people's favorite book. Very few people like the first one best, I think. I don't remember. But anyway. Mockingjay was actually my favorite book when I read the series. Now, I'm not sure if that will change. I will let you know. But Mockingjay was my favorite, so I'll be interested to see. But the last time that I read it was when I was enamored by it, and I didn't realize that Katniss was an annoying, horrible person. But her character does get a little bit nicer here. As I was writing that blog series that I was telling you about, I found less and less in Catching Fire to make fun of. And they got harder and harder to write because she becomes less despicable. A little bit. Because she does start to actually care about people. She starts to care about her mom, and she does seem to kind of care about Peeta. The thing with that, though, is you may remember a scene where Peeta comes in and he's like, we don't even know each other's favorite colors, and we're doing all this stuff and pretending we're in love and whatever. That's the main problem with Katniss's relationships in general. She doesn't really get to know people. She doesn't ask them questions. We don't know anything about anyone's backstory. I mean, we do know, I'm thinking of my blog name for this guy. We know, what's his name? We know the other guy who's in the love triangle, who I can't think of the name of right now. We know his backstory because she kind of witnessed that and went along through him in that. Gale, that's his name. She kind of went through Gale's backstory a little bit with him because she's known him a lot longer. But she doesn't even try to get to know Peeta better. She watches a random video of Haymitch's backstory, but that's not really explored in any way. And what about Effie, for instance? Effie is a very important character, and we don't know really anything about her at all, even though, I mean, she's nice, and it'd be interesting to get the point of view of a person from the capital who, grew up watching these Hunger Games and grew up probably enjoying them in a strange, sadistic way. And so we miss a lot of opportunities just because Katniss is so entirely selfish and so caught up in herself and her own struggles. And I understand. There's also people who have said to me, well, Katniss has been through a lot. Katniss had to take care of her family, and then this whole thing happened. She's been through a lot. Yes, she has. People have been sucky to her, it seems, and so it's understandable that she's somewhat guarded. But the thing is that she never really reflects on that. She never even has a desire to be better than she is. She never says, wow, I don't care about people enough. I really should do something about that. And she never really tries to do something about it. Like, I feel if a character recognizes their flaws, then it helps a little to soften the fact that they have so many flaws, especially a character as infinitely flawed as Katniss. If they realize that they are a jerk, then it helps a little bit for me to accept the fact that they're a jerk. And you know me, I don't want my hero characters to be perfect. I appreciate them having a flaw or two, but it's annoying when it's just so much, and it's affecting the story so much, and there's so much, again, her flaws are a barrier to me becoming more engrossed in the story. And so that is what I think about her character in this, and how it ends up hurting the story again in Catching Fire, because again there are so many new characters that we get to know, especially in the new Hunger Games thing that they're doing. Again, you don't really get to know a lot of people, and I remember we get the next backstory in Mockingjay, but a lot of people you just never know. And it's really sad because you know that their stories are just as valid as Katniss's, but they are never given credence. But anyway, in this book is really when I start to really care for Peeta, I think, even more, because again, he's giving us that caring aspect that we don't get from Katniss. It's like they do in some ways balance each other out, but they are she's so far on the not nice extreme and he's so far on the nice extreme that it's like the characters end up, they just drag each other both down because they are so out of sync and so out of touch with each other. But anyway, what things do I like about Catching Fire? Again, just the situations are good. The ending is not. I think you have to this was a book that I kind of just got through in order to get to Mockingjay, which is why it amazed me that the movie of Catching Fire turned out as well as it did. I really liked Mockingjay when I read it. I think it's mostly because I enjoy the storyline with Peeta being, all sad and everything, and them having to look, it's character development, but it's the only instance of character development in this book, really, and it's so tightly compressed character development that it just makes me go but I don't know if I'll feel the same way this time, because again, Katniss now just gets on my nerves so badly. But again, as I said in the first review, these are still books that I recommend because they do have, and they're just interesting to consider. Again, putting yourself in the shoes of the people there, considering what people because there are people who go through stuff. It's not exactly this stuff, but there are people who end up in situations that are traumatizing, just as traumatizing as this, and I think it's important to consider what that would do to you, what that might do to other people, and how these people can be helped too. So I think that's a lot of what is good about these books is just you thinking. It makes you think. It makes you think about hard stuff and what going through hard stuff is like. But anyway, so that's the end of my. I'm sorry it turned into kind of a rant about how annoying Katniss is again. I do just she bothers me so much. But anyway, next week I should have Mockingjay read and put up for you guys, and I'm excited to see how my perception has changed after probably 4 years since I read the last book. So we'll see. But yeah, bye guys.